Good evenings, everybody. Cape Flight Stories, everybody from our Facebook friends. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, I've got a gentleman with me in the studio. He spoke to us a couple of months ago, just so before elections, and I'm following up with him about, what has happened in between and a lot of things that we're going to speak about tonight. Ek dink is important vir ons om, because we want to educate the voters, we want to educate our people about the politics. And also, myself and Byron always say that we must never stop the politics. We must always talk about the politics on the space. And that's why Monday nights is politics night, political nights. And we have everybody, anyone on here. And we also, would like you guys to interact. One of the things that I want to do, that I just think about is, instead of talking about politics, maybe next week I want to start with a lot of people are messaging me, Stan, I don't belong to this political party anymore. I have left this political party. This is the reason why. I think there is also another angle that I want to take this thing on. Why do people leave political parties? What is the problems? And so on and so on. But without any further ado, I've got with me in the studio. Good evening, Griselda. Hope you're well. I've got Grant Clarson. Myself and Byron spoke, the night after the chat with it was Grant. It was one of his colleagues. It was what's his name from the ANC, Mr. Rinquist, and it was what's the other gentleman's name from Marvin, from the PA. And we had an amazing chat. And after the chat, Byron told me he never knew about Ara, but after Grant spoke to him, he knew about Ara. And I would always hear, Stan, but you need to look at guys like Grant, you need to look at guys like Rinquist and I mean those guys. So we had the awesome chat, and I brought Grant back because I think Grant has a lot to say. And he's still a young man. He's still a young man like myself, and we're gonna have a liquor chat tonight, guys. So please do ask questions. Please do ask questions. Please do engage. The chat is about growing, educating our people politically, getting different political parties on here, figures and people to engage with us on what is really happening. So, without any further ado, I've got Grant Clarson with me. Good evenings, Grant, and welcome.
Well, good evening, sir, Uncle Stan, and to all the
Oh my
listeners
God,
out
I think
there.
I
And
lost just 1 second for me there. Let me just do this. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect. Yeah,
There we go. Perfect. Grant,
yeah,
how are you doing, sir?
man, I'm doing very well. Good evening to you. Thank you for inviting me here again, and to
Yes.
all the listeners and to the viewers. I think first and foremost, from Ara, myself, our
Mhm.
party leader, and everybody there, our condolences to the family of Byron, all his
Thank you.
colleagues and his friends.
Mhm.
Very one of a kind gentleman, kind-hearted, and I think
Mhm.
somebody that has made Cape Town very proud. And
Definitely.
we say God knows best, and we know He's with the Lord, and we comfort ourselves in that. And so to
Mhm.
his family, know that I always say when people never die, they pass on. And
That's right.
I believe that Byron in this time he has fulfilled his purpose. So
Mhm.
we comfort ourselves in that. So thank you very much for the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making yourself available. But tonight we just want to go back to hitting the hard questions, and I think there's a question that you just mentioned to me now that we're gonna end off the show with. But I just want to talk to you, Grant, because you are
Yeah,
still on the Cape Flats. You know what's happening on the Cape Flats.
yeah,
Education. You know, one of
yeah.
the things that I actually noticed, we are doing a drive in Pargood. And like I always say on this page, and I always tell it to our people, we have too many primary schools and too little high schools. And it is actually showing, it is showing that most of the youngsters on the Cape Flats only have a primary school education. We don't go any further. You also know about the dynamics because you live in Lentig here. You can't go to a school in Portlands, because you are affiliated or you are labeled with that gang. That is the one thing that is keeping our people from going to school. The other thing is this: the quality of education. Grant, when we were younger, we had what they call gutter education. I think it was. I don't want to say this, but I think it was better then than what it was now. And I don't want to give the old government praise, but I feel that your books were you sorted out. your pencils were sorted out, you had your basic stationery needs. It was supplied to you. What do you think? Are we going backwards with our education system, or are we, still finding ourselves?
Sure, but Stan, there's so much to talk about this, but just for the sake of time and that, I'll stick to the point. I'm very passionate in what I'm doing, and I engage with so many people on a daily basis. The problem we're sitting first and foremost, why a lot of uh, children are exiting schools. It's number one, they've got social issues at home.
Yeah.
And those things, the teachers are not equipped to deal with those things. The teachers are not equipped. I've got a lot of family and friends that are teachers, and these people are nervous wrecks. These people
Mm-mm.
are they are not equipped to deal with society as it is at the moment, because there is a lack of discipline. One day I spoke to a teacher friend of mine, and I said the biggest mistake the government made was to take the punishment away. And he said actually something very important to me. He said, Grant, it is not my job to
Yeah.
punish and to hit your child. Then you're
Yes.
taking my job away, which I'm just here to teach. You must
Mm-mm.
discipline your child. And I think that stuck with me, that, so the teachers today deal with a lot of social issues at
Mm-mm.
school. And so they cannot get really to the learning aspect of it. So do we have a discipline factor there that plays part? But also I think is that you don't get dumb children at all. Children are so smart. Children are so clever. I mean, you either get academic children or you get technical children. And that is
That's right.
something that I think that parents should actually investigate. And I think that's the
Mm-mm.
lack of schools that we have. We do not have enough technical schools on the Cape Flats for our
Mm-mm.
people. And now they must leave school and go to skills development centers where you can actually incorporate that into the school already and
Mm-mm.
teach them a skill there. So when the boy or girl leaves school, they've already got a skill. And I think that we need to look at the demographics of that, and we should actually harbor that more and deal more with
Mm-mm.
those kind of issues. And then obviously, your bambanani has been taken out of the school, so there is a safety factor
Yes.
in the school. I
Mm-mm.
mean, in the area where I work passionately in Tafelsig, we've got an issue where gangsterism now. The children come from school, gangsters are waiting. There's no police visibility, and also the walking bus members has been pulled back by the city of Cape Town, so that is also not there anymore, and safety becomes a big problem. And
Yeah.
I want to say this to you that, with a budget of 58 billion, we cannot say anymore. And I'm not going to just speak about the ruling party in the city of Cape Town, but they cannot say anymore it is a national issue or it's a provincial issue. Every issue that we're facing, we need to take ownership of it. We cannot look at the
Yes.
national government. We need to take and say, what can we do? Even when it comes to unemployment, we need to say it's not a national problem. It's at first and foremost, Stan, it starts in the home, then in the
Mm-mm.
street, then in the community, then in the area, and then in our province, then in our city and in our province.
Mm-mm.
So I think the school at this moment, and this is my opinion, that the school system, and we know that the percentage of the pass rate has even been dropped.
Mm-mm.
And so it's not that you're educating. I just think that, let me ask you this. Have you ever been to a school, and when you look at the school desk, you always see there's something drawn on the desk? Always. You,
Mm-mm.
you
Yes.
always see it.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
children has got the ability inside of them that must come out. That's why they must be kept busy. I'm going to say this to you. The same life that God has put inside of you, Stan, and me to operate
Mm-mm.
our big bodies and what we are
Yeah.
busy with is the same life God has put into those children. So imagine the energy they have. And those things
Mm-mm.
must just be honest. I believe
Yeah.
that we got smart. I mean, you know what, Stan? Let me tell you this. When I stop at a robot
Mm-mm.
or traffic light, but for our sake in Cape Town, we call it a robot.
Yeah.
And I see all these youngsters, and they selling stuff on the robot. Do you know what I see? I don't see scarlers. I see
Mm-mm.
entrepreneurs, because these people are the best salespeople you can find. You just got to
Mm-mm.
put them in a corporate environment. I'm telling you, they will hit some of the big salespeople. They will hit them out for a 10, because they are skillful in. They have learned to say reimpies, hulle praat reimpies, they
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
inventative,
Mm-mm.
they surrounding, it's amazing how they can apply and develop skill surrounding their situation. So I
Mm-mm.
can tell you this, we I don't think government is doing enough where the education system is concerned for our children, and to harness the gifts that they have, instead
Mm-mm.
of looking and becoming like an international level, putting children and following where the world is. Let us look what we have in our own backyard and
Mm-mm.
harness that gifts And we've got a lot of skills. And I'm telling you now, Uncle, where the country is going to, we need our plumbers, we need
That's
our
right.
welders, we need
That's
our
right.
skillsmen. And I'm telling you, it's amazing that other countries are now not just wanting academics, but they're wanting actually our skilled people. And they're
Mm-mm.
exporting our skilled people. They're going to Australia, New Zealand, all of these places. And
Mm-mm.
we're going to have a lack of those people very soon. So
That's
if
right.
government is wise, then I think that we need to come up with much more than what we are currently doing in our schooling system,
Mm-mm.
much more. And I think we need to spend much more money, and we need to spend it much more wisely. One of the things also that that Ara is very passionate about when we come into power one day is that we saying is that there's no such thing as a gap year. I don't believe in a gap year. You can take a rest
Yeah.
if you're tired, rest. But I
That's right.
believe that when the child is finished, get the child to go to the army, or get that
Mm-mm.
if they're not in school, let them go to the army to get the discipline
Mm-mm.
factor back into their lives. And that one of the things that we say is that on the Cape Flats, make gangsterism unattractive for our youth, for our children.
Mm-mm.
Make
Mm-mm.
the word gangster a bylaw. We talked about all of those things, and it looks like the city of Cape Town is only looking or the DA is only looking at their own interest, what they think. They have
Mm-mm.
no interest in listening to what the other parties are saying. I said these words in council. When I look at the council chambers, I see a multitude of wisdom sitting in their chambers, but
Mm-mm.
certain people will never be given the opportunity. They can speak what they want, but they will
Mm-mm.
never be given opportunity to flare out their ideas just because they're not part of the DA. And that's the sad situation we're sitting with.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And Karan, just to come back to you, about speaking in Parliament, we voted like, and this is how the people see it. We voted now for the colored man to be in Parliament, or into
In
local government,
council, in council, yeah.
yeah, into council. But that doesn't actually give them the right to make changes. There's still a national
No,
government and there's still local government.
no.
And I think the problem, Grant, is that I would just want to say, and maybe you can school me on this, but many political parties said, when you vote us into power, this is what we're going to do, making promises, empty promises. Now that they are in power, they don't have no right. They don't have anything. They're not actually, in a point where they can make decisions. And I think that is what our people need to understand. You need to outvote the main government, which is your local government or your national government.
Yeah,
Only then you can make changes. And the story of doing the same thing over and over and wanting different results. That is the other thing
insanity.
we need to look at. And I just want to leave it with you quickly, just to maybe explain to our people, because this is also about educating. When you vote, what is the things that you must, before we go to the other questions, what is the things that we must look for? Because people have been lied to. There's many parties that have lied to people, empty promises. There are people, and you can go look on Facebook, that got strokes because of political parties that lied to them. There's people that have lost their jobs because of political parties that has told them, look here, we're going to make you a ward councillor once we win this ward. People has gone backwards. But just school us a
Yeah.
bit on that. What should people look at, Grant?
Man, I would say first and foremost, whenever you look at a political party, you need to study its manifesto. You need
Mm-mm,
to study its constitution. You need to know who is this people that you are dealing with.
mm-mm,
More than words, you need to come behind the scenes. Who's the people? Investigate the leadership. Were they involved in other parties? What have they done there? Are they jumping ship all the time? Are they there for position, or are they there to bring change? So I think that is on the owner. This is the problem. And being in business, I always tell people, do not buy what you hear, but buy what you see,
mm-mm,
because
mm-mm,
words are fleeting. Do not buy what you see. Don't buy into something that you hear, but what you see. Trust your instinct. Where is it that you feel comfortable? Now this is the issue that we're sitting with. People go for flamboyant words, but they don't study manifestos, they don't study
mm-mm,
constitutions, they don't know where the people are coming from, what they are doing. They just want to be with, I want to be with that crowd. It's not a crowd. Let me tell you something. um I want to say this to you, that in our party, and I'm so pleased to say that
mm-mm,
I've I must actually commend our people that post-election, our structures are still strong. Nobody
mm-mm,
has left. Our structures are
mm-mm,
strong, and we're communicating with our people. We're having our meetings. Just
mm-mm.
because people don't see us on the ground, and they don't see, in actual fact, they do see us on the ground, but just because they don't see us on Facebook and those things doesn't mean
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
working. We are building
Mm-mm,
structures. Our first 5 years is structure building continuously. Before you put the roof on, windows on, you need to lay foundations, and that is what ARA is busy doing. We're laying
Yeah.
foundations all over. So let me just say this to you. When it comes to, can I give you a picture of what happens in council quickly, Uncle?
So
Because I think our people need to understand this. So what
exactly.
happens is that, yeah, I think let me take you through a council meeting that takes place.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So your councillors get your agenda by a Friday. They get the agenda. Now the agenda is this. It's like, have you ever read that Wilbur Smith books? You're
Yes,
looking at like two or
big.
three of that Wilbur Smith books.
Yeah,
Yeah, they took book.
I did
So
book. Yeah.
yes, so now you sitting and Ara, we've only got two councillors in. Now we have to go through all of those things, and you
Mm-mm.
can't go through it over a weekend. You have to spend a week with it. Now the next week, Thursday, which gives you about 5 days, is
Yeah.
council meeting. Now we have to decide already the Monday what issues we're going to speak on, and we have to forward that to the whip and to the
Mm-mm.
speaker so that they can know what we're speaking. Then also, according to our seats, we get speaking time. So ARA only has got 4 minutes speaking time. The CCC, because they got more seats, they got more speaking time. PA's
Mm-mm.
got more seats. ACDP's got, so the more seats you have, the more speaking time you have. So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
4 minutes, let me take it from us.
Mm-mm.
In 4 minutes, we have to. I see somebody saying, who decides the agenda? Well, the agenda is being sent in by the councillors and whoever puts something on the agenda, they forward
Mm-mm.
it to the speaker, and then the speaker puts it on the agenda. And obviously, they have to check if it's legal compliant because they don't want to waste
Mm-mm.
time. And most of your issues anyway come from your ruling party. I mean, the other parties really put
Yeah.
something in. So
That's
let me
right.
let me give you this. So now we sit and we have to decide what to speak on. Now something comes up. Maybe let's use something that's going to come up with the clinics they want to close. One in Lentegee, and I mean one in Westridge, and one in I
Mm-mm.
think it's Eastridge, so one, or Rocklands, and one in Eastridge they want to close. So that thing is going to come to council. It probably will come to council in the next month or two or
Mm-mm.
3 months. When it comes to council, you must remember, now we speak on, we have done our research. We said you can't close it. We've done this research. This, it cannot be, it's serving so many people. The Speaker of the House is so I would say disconnected with
Yeah.
the other political parties that's there.
Mm-mm.
It's like she don't
Mm-mm.
even listen to what you are saying,
Yeah.
because this is the issue. The DA government in the city of Cape Town right now is
Mm-mm.
protected by the policies which they
Mm-mm.
have written and their councillors have voted in. So now they're
Yes.
saying it's not us, it's our policies, because we're protected by our policies. So we're making sure that everything we put on is according to our policies.
Mm-mm.
Now, those things come to council. Now it comes down to a vote. So who's in favor of the clinics closing and who's in favor of the clinics opening? And the
Mm.
majority of the votes goes to the DA because they sit with the majority seats. So to the
Yeah.
voter out there, when you vote for a political party, you're not voting for the party that's just going to be the ruling party. You're voting for that party for the next 5 years to make decisions on your behalf.
Mm-mm.
That is what
Mm-mm.
you are doing. You're giving them power in not their city, your city that you're
Mm.
living in, that you
That's right.
are a ratepayer of, that you are a contributor of society, that you stay and help people and build society. You're staying there, so
Mm-mm.
you've got a right. This is a democracy. You're giving them the power for 5 years
Mm-mm.
to make decisions on your behalf. Because when they make their decisions, it's not about, they will tell you, it's they are there for the people. So it
Mm-mm.
doesn't really matter, Stan, what the other political parties are saying at this stage. The
Yeah.
DA will outvote them and always win whatever they bring to the agenda. That is the reality of the matter.
Mm-mm.
So it doesn't matter how we're going to fight them with issues there. It
Yeah.
just, once you finish speaking for that 2 minutes, you can fight
Mm-mm.
all you want. 2 minutes, the
Yeah.
mic gets put off, and the next
Mm-mm.
speaker speaks, and they will forget about it. So it's
But
the
this is
sad
also
reality.
it is very sad. But this is also just what I want to add. We need to be realistic. Libraries are closing down in Cape Town. Hospitals. I mean, Grant, you can't afford to close in Eastridge, Westridge, wherever in Mitchell's
You
Plain. You can't
can't.
afford to close. There's
You
actually
can't.
there's actually a statement where they say that, but the people don't use the facility. I was personally there.
That's
That
a
you
lie
you
from the pit of hell.
you know that gang violence happens every week, every day. There's
Every
gangsters that
day.
make use of it. There's children that are getting being shot. There is people with rare diseases, people with illnesses. I mean, someone that makes use of the facility. I mean, people
Yeah.
can't go from East Ridge to Cape Town, they don't have money, so they need to make use of the facility. So by telling us we don't make use of the facility, it's a big lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
You know,
It's an absolute lie. And I'm telling you this, that my issue is this, that if they do not want to spend the money in healthcare, where are they spending the money then?
that's right.
Because if we are looking at losses of 54 million in Strandfontein over 2 weeks, where are they spending it? It's stuff that, you know what, Stan, I'm going to say this to you because I want to bring it home. It's stuff that actually hurt. It is not stuff
That's
that
right.
makes us just angry, but it hurts us because, for 54 million, we could have built how many houses? We could have sorted
Many-
so many people out. I want to say this to you, but you'll probably ask me the question, and I want to say this to you, that, or let me rather speak about it later on, because I think you're going to ask me later on a question about the mayor, and then I've got quite a bit to say about that, but I'll rather bring
Okay.
it in there. But I think our people must be educated, and one of the key focus points that I'm doing as a councillor now in the city of Cape Town is to engage with communities continuously and giving
Mm,
them voter education. So when people complain, I tell them, you deserve what you voted for. This is what you
that's right.
voted for.
Mm,
So you can't complain. Now the next voting day, it's only 5 years' time. You need to
that's
know
right.
who you're going to vote for.
Exactly, Grant. And the thing is, this it is your vote. I don't think people realize, but their vote
Sure.
is so crucial.
So
If you don't
important.
vote right, people are dying because of your vote.
Exactly.
And this might sound like something stupid, but I mean, Grant, let's just go back to our safety and security.
Oh,
I
oh.
don't think there's something like that that is working in Cape Town. Safety and security, it might work maybe on the other side of the mountain, but safety and security is not applicable to the people on the
Not
Cape
here.
Flats. But this is what I
Not
just want
here.
to add also there. Millions are being spent. Millions of rands are being spent, but you don't ever see a difference in the communities. People are still dying. Yes, I do understand, just like we mentioned earlier on about the social ills. Yes, it's we killing each other. But we need help. It's not all of us, it's the minority. We are allowing drug dealers when they are caught and they come out again, they're not even in prison for a year or two, then they're out again. You get gangsters that go in, rape, whatever, they come out again. Gender-based violence, most of those
Sure.
victims come from prison. So what I want to say, ask you, Grant, we have lost now, what's his name? Bertie of Albert Fritz. He didn't do a good job. Before him was Dan Plato. Let's be honest. If people die under your watch, all that you hear every time is that but this is national government's job. SAP should do this. But you are the ones that are saying keep the ANC out, keep the EFF
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But you're not really looking after us. And we need to be realistic. You know,
Yeah.
People need to say, but look here, we as colored people of the Cape Flats, we are the
Yeah.
majority of people in Cape Town. I don't think we realize that as well. And we don't
Exactly.
know that we can definitely vote in a new party. We need to start
Yes.
making demands. Why aren't they
Yeah.
looking after our safety? Safety and security is a groot gemors. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think the DA is messing up. They are really messing up.
Now, look, let me, you know what, Stan, when it comes to these, and there is so much issues, and I think one of the things that the CCC is tackling is all the irregularities that's happening. But I mean, for
Mhm.
me, it's personally fruitless for me even to go tackle that because we know of all the stuff that's happening. The notion always that the DA is always passing on, and they're always saying that we keeping the ANC out. It's the biggest lie. I want to say this to every listener here. I would rather have flats that's not painted and
Mhm.
roads that's broken and have safety and security
That's right.
and have not gangsters. I would rather have that sorted out and having a better unemployment rate, a lower unemployment rate. I would rather have those two things sorted out than always bragging about service delivery is so up and service delivery is so up.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you something. Service delivery means absolutely nothing if your people is not safe. Your
That's
people
right.
can't walk. I mean, if you work late till 9 o'clock, it's you already a wreck the whole day at work because you're thinking, how am I going to go from the bus stop home? It is so dangerous. You don't know if you're going to make it. A woman is being attacked in the mornings when they have to go work. They still take the walking bus members, they still take that budget
That's right.
away. That has been a
That's right.
little bit of help. And I want to say this
Mhm.
to them, the walking bus members, it's also your own fault because you were never employed just to help people. The idea of the walking bus members was to actually
Mm-mm.
help the DA with their campaign. That was the issue.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That was the issue with the walking bus members. So when it's almost like we used you and now we're done with you. Why was that
Mm-mm.
budget taken away? You know, Stan, the budget was also taken away where the city of Cape Town used to give little starter packs when people's homes burned down.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was taken away. There's nothing. So what happens
Mm-mm.
when a house is burned down? The ward council will come, take a photo with the
Mm-mm.
person and say,
Mm-mm.
well, I've been here.
Yeah.
Being there doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
I want to challenge a ward councillor in the city of Cape Town of the ruling party. Show me one house that has burned down that you out of your own pocket,
Mm.
went to go and fix.
Mm-mm.
Don't tell me about the MERP funding or what funding you've used of the city. What have you
Mm.
sacrificed? If it doesn't hit you in your own pocket, if it doesn't hit home, then I'm telling you, you don't have a heart for
Yeah.
the people.
Exactly. And Grant, this is the thing, just touching on it, like I said, we don't need, if we need people with leadership skills to become ward
Exactly.
councillors. We have
Exactly.
people that are admin. We have admin people. We have admin people. I send messages to ward councillors on a regular basis. They don't respond back to you. Now, I understand that you can't always get back to people. You are busy, but you are going to eventually get back to people. You're going to talk to them. Yeah, but look here, sorry for this. I took a day or two, but you're going to come back to them. And that is the problem is that our people don't know the system. And this is where we need to come as ward councillors
That's right.
and teach them
Agreed.
what am I
Agreed.
responsible for? Let's bring things, you get to a point
That's
where
right.
you realize, but we as people do so much more for our community as our local government. The money is always going into the Cape Flats, millions, but you really don't see the money. And I don't want to
Yeah.
bring up something, but I can see in other areas outside of the Cape Flats, schools are being built,
Yeah.
houses are being built, people are getting funding. It's still the same thing. Nothing has changed. We were promised that they're going to look after us this elections, but you know what? We will see them next year. God willing, we will see them. They will come out in full force and they will say, vote for us. And they need to be kept accountable. We need to speak about this. People need to know, but hey, if the DA don't work for us, then we need to remove them. I've got friends at DA, but there is also
Yeah.
those lazy asses that does nothing for our people. And you are
Now
right,
I
they
can
give
agree with you.
they give nothing back to our people. I mean,
Nothing.
they take a photo of a jersey or a pair of shoes that they gave to somebody, and then they
Oh, I
go
hate
again. Then
that.
you never hear
I
of
hate
them.
that. I
Where is
hate
the
it.
humanity in these people?
And I hate it. I hate it. I'm a Christian, and my Bible teaches me that your left hand mustn't know what your right hand has done. So
Mm-mm.
what I've adopted, I would rather take a picture of the stuff that I'm going to give, but
That's
I will
right.
not tell you who I'm giving it to. And the
Yeah.
picture I'm taking is to show the people, here's the stuff, I'm going to go give it so I can be accountable.
Mm-mm.
But I will
Mm-mm.
not take a picture. I did it once with somebody, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I felt bad afterwards. It's like,
Yeah.
no, man, no. And I want to say this to Cape Town, get that mannerism out of you because you're not a superstar. Let your giving be in
Mm-mm.
secret. And
Mm-mm.
let your giving be in secret. Your blessing
Yeah.
come from the Lord, not from anybody
That,
else. God will bless you. Just don't do that because it's so humiliating. For a person already to ask
mm-mm.
for something, it's
Yeah.
humiliating. Now you
That's
still
right.
take a photo and publicize it. No, man, it's not
Mm-mm.
right, man.
Yeah.
Our hearts must not be like that. No, we are better. Our people are better
Mm-mm.
than that because ons weet wat dit is om swaar te kry. Ons weet wat
That's
dit is
right.
om nie te het nie. So daar was 'n
Mm-mm.
oomblik wat jy ook nie gehet het nie. Hoe sal jy
That's
gelyk
right.
dat iemand moet vir jou gepublicize het in jou
Mm-mm.
tyd van need? So come on,
Mm-mm.
we can do better. Cape Town, we can do better. We can do much
Yeah.
better than this. So this councillors that's doing these things, I'm telling you, I'm gonna come down on them. Even in our own party, I've made it clear. I said, guys, when you give, do not publicize. Publicize what you give, but not who you
Yeah.
gave it to. That's it.
That's right.
Let's let's
That's
let's
right.
let's not do that.
And I think, Ran, that is the thing. It's like a competition. Let's see who can
Phew.
help the most people. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be, people will vote for you. All those people that you reach along the road. Like if I meet somebody down the road and I tell them and I work with them and I show them who I really am, those
Yeah,
people will definitely believe in me. So every time when I do
exactly.
something, they will tell somebody else. It will be like like in the old days where they were in Facebook or they were in social media. People will believe in you. But that brings
Yeah.
me back, Grant. We spoke about the education now. We spoke about the service delivery. And this is just something that I want to touch on is the unemployment.
Phew.
The unemployment goes up every time on the Cape Flats. There's more people unemployed. skills and development is something that we don't look at. I've noticed this. To come back, we have schools that are we have more primary school people and less high
Yeah,
school people, right? And now
agreed.
we have unemployment. So our people are not also ready. Most of our people are not ready for the workplace. So, with other words, you are going to be a laborer. That is what is being said of us, what is being taught of us. How
Yeah,
do we get our people skilled? How do we get this government that they told us they're going to look after us to build more schools? Because I have said this, there's nothing is being done about. We don't need 10 or 20 schools. We need hundreds of schools on the Cape Flats.
exactly.
There's a demand. There's a big demand for high schools. How do we fight this ground? How do we get these people to take us serious, man?
You,
That is the problem. It's no use we're going to talk about it, but if I get these people
yeah.
on this platform and others to stand up, how do we stand up? How do we get them to deliver?
Number one, what we need to do is that there is obviously there is the governmental aspect of it, but then there's also our responsibility to it. And
Yeah,
I think we need to adopt this attitude in our areas that,
mm,
we know because of social ills that fathers and mothers sometimes are not taking their responsibility over the children that they should, because
yeah,
children we see at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night is still playing in the street. And I
yeah,
think we need that aunties to come back. We need that uncles, that old people that's there to come back. We need to keep people accountable. When we see people is not in school, it's amazing. When you see a little boy and a little girl of 10, 12 years old sit and fray on the streets,
yeah.
in my days, when I grew up, Stan, sy sal
Mm-mm.
mos 'n pak slag gekry het.
Dikke
We need to go
paksela.
back. Ons moet weer. And if
Exactly.
the mother and the father comes to you and tells you, yeah, wie jou my kind is, then educate the mother and the father. You know what?
Yeah.
We must just get and stand on our thing, man, because this whole trend that the world is going to, I don't want to
Mm-mm.
offend people. I'm going to tell you something. We're going to offend people. Finish and clear. Forget about it. Doing
Mm-mm.
the right thing, sometimes costs you more pain than anything else.
Mm-mm.
So I think we need to start taking responsibility for our own community. It starts with the
Mm-mm.
house, it starts with the road, it starts with the
Yeah.
community, it starts with the ward, and it starts
Mm-mm.
in the city. So
Mm-mm.
first and foremost, we need to be, so if you're seeing somebody's child is not in school,
Yeah.
you need to find out why the child is not in school. On my campaigns, I found two boys that's not in schools. I asked them, why are you not in
Mm-mm.
school? Maar ek het nie meer
Mm-mm.
lus vir hoekom is hulle nie lus vir skool gaan nie? Fine,
Yeah.
because they're not doing well. Hulle voel
Mm-mm.
hulle is dom. Ek sê julle is nie dom nie, julle is bright.
Yeah.
Van as ek julle nou
Yeah.
iets gaat gee om te doen. And so we need those motivators to come back. And there's a lot
Mm-mm.
of people, there's a
Mm-mm.
lot of our older people that's sitting at home. Become involved in some community. We need more
That's right.
community organizations, not just
Yeah.
organizations that give food out. There is so much needs in our community,
That's right.
and
That's
we
right.
need to push our people into the
Mm-mm.
education. Let me tell you something. Do you know that the ANC, all their constituents, they
Mm-mm.
forced education down their constituents? And
Mm-mm.
do you know
Yeah.
what? Because they have done that, because they knew when they were going to rule the country, they were going to need educated people. Well, we need to do the same thing, because I believe
Mm-mm.
we are going to take over in the Cape, in the Western Cape, in South Africa,
Yeah.
and we're
Yes.
going to have to get educated people. We can't
Mm-mm.
listen here. A house divided
Mm-mm.
against itself, it will not stand. And
That's
that's
right.
the vision that's happening in our communities. We need to stop it now. We need to,
Mm-mm.
for God's sake, just stop it now. When
Yeah.
I hit your child, it's not because I'm angry. It's because
Yeah.
he's done something that's not
Yeah.
right. When I reprimand your child, it's not because I don't like you. It's because it's
Mm-mm.
for the sake of that child. So I think that's
That's
number
right.
one that we should do. And then we
Mm-mm.
should petition government so hard. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I think every new, if the DA was doing their job, if the ANC was
Mm-mm.
doing their job, then there would
Yeah.
have been no need for new political parties to come on board.
That's
No
right.
need.
That's right.
No need.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't have
Mm-mm.
been here, because I would have been probably DA, or I would have been ANC, or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, if they were all
Yeah.
doing a good job. But they are
That's right.
not, because our people
Mm.
are suffering. Do you know,
Mm-mm.
Uncle? We're looking at drugs in our
Mm.
and I wanna just give you this a bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain on the Cape Flats. Pain,
Yeah. Yeah.
pain. Listen here, pain. Pain of poverty, because poverty
Mm-mm.
brings pain. Pain
Yeah.
of rejection,
Yeah.
because his mother and his father didn't want him. It's an unwanted pregnancy. It's
Mm-mm.
another mouth to feed.
Yeah.
Pain of gender-based violence. Pain
Mm-mm.
of abuse.
Yeah.
Uncle, I've spoken to a lady the other day, and oh, my heart breaks when I speak about
Mm-mm.
this. And she was raped.
Mm.
And she told me these words. She said to me, you know what? After I was raped, I had to close my legs, go wash myself,
Mm-mm.
and I had to get back to what I was doing, because me
Yeah.
going to the police station and making a case is not going to put food on my table for my kids for
Mm-mm.
tonight.
Mm-mm.
Now that lady is broken.
Yeah.
Maar sy moet maar aangaan soos sy aangaan. And
Yeah.
that breaks my heart, Stan, to say that
Yeah.
what are we doing? Then you know what? I've got nothing to do with government. I'm saying
Yeah.
we, as our
Yes.
people, as the neighbors,
Mm.
we have
That's
failed.
right.
We have failed
That's
big
right.
time. And
Mm-mm.
let us put the onus on ourselves and say, listen here, I'm not, the DA has taught us to be dependent on them.
That's right.
Listen to what I'm
Mm.
telling you. They've taught us to be dependent. We can become interdependent. We don't need
Yeah.
them. If
Mm-mm.
everybody, we don't need the nonsense that they are catching on. If we can sort this out in our areas, let me tell you something. I heard about a story today of a husband hitting the wife. I said,
Yeah.
oh, hy's laat die vrou. Nou gaan die
Mm-mm.
saak maak. Die brothers gaan hom 'n visit koggie. That's me.
Amen.
That's me. Die
Yes.
brothers gaan vir hom 'n visit
Yes.
koggie.
There we
Dan
go.
gaan ons
There
vir
we
hom sê
go.
slat. Ek gaan vir hom sê slat vir my. Now that
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
attitude we want back.
That's right.
Slat vir my. Slat vir my.
Yeah.
Kyk jy los jou
Yeah.
vrou slat vir my, man tot man.
That's
Ek en
exactly.
sy
Mm-hmm.
beklei. That kind of attitude, I want to encourage the men. Come on, man. Take your place
Yeah.
in the community.
That's right.
Take your place. Listen here, if you're a father, listen, don't let people tell you otherwise. You're a man in that community. Take your
Mm.
place. Take
That's
your
right.
place. As jy
Mm.
pad nie gevier word, jy vat sy besem en jy's by die huis, daar vier jy daar so.
There we go.
Niks gaan van jou af, gaan van jou afval nie. Let us leave that always wait for,
Mm-mm.
oh, they didn't clean this, oh, they didn't do this, oh, the children is not in school and this. Dan vat sy vir hom aan die hand, sit hom in die kar, sit hom op die bakkie, sit hom op die perekar en vat
Yeah.
sy vir hom skool toe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So those are the kind of things that I want to say that government has got his part to play. But I think
Yeah.
also as a community, ons gee baie op ons eie mense.
That's
Ons
right.
word moeg. Ons kan nie nou
Mhm.
moeg raak nie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ons kan nie moeg raak nou en te sê ons kan nie meer dit doen nie. We need to. Is it okay if I talk Afrikaans, Uncle Stan?
The Americans escape flats. Escape flats.
That's my bro. So I want to bring it home to you that ons moet begin 'n responsibility vat, man, van ons eie mense en ons eie kinders wat daar sit. En as hy kind 10 jaar oud is met 'n sigaret,
Yeah.
dan gaan hy en vat hy sigaret en klap dit in sy mond in, because he needs
That's right.
discipline. He needs to know.
That's
He doesn't need to go for those things. So
Mhm.
those kind of community people, that's kind of aunties and the aunties and the uncles in our days play such a big role. But they
That's
feel hulle wil maar nie weer involved raak nie, because jy weet die ma en die pa gaan nou skel en hy gaan niks sê nie. Man,
Ja,
as hulle
ja.
skel hulle is fyn. Dan roep sy
Ja.
eintlik jou hot counsel in. Dan kan
Ja.
jy vir hom sê, "Kom help nou, hulle skel met my, maar ek het hulle kind gehelp."
Yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But that
And that
is
is
what I'm
exactly-
saying, Uncle Stan. We need to do that thing. We need to get back to that. We need to
Exactly.
get back to that.
Grant, you touch on very crucial points. We as a community are important
We.
to stand together.
Yes.
We need to
We
stand
must.
up. The reason why they're taking advantage of us is because we're not standing up. We're not standing together. We're not keeping them accountable together. We're allowing everything. The moment we stand up as a community, start supporting each other, like you say, it wouldn't have been necessary for the walking bus if we from the start. I mean, just think
Exactly.
about it. There was no
Exactly.
walking bus prior to if you go back to the 2000s, early 2000s to the
Yeah.
late 90s, there was no walking bus. There was no sheep.
Yeah.
There was no neighborhood watch, big neighborhood watches. We had control of our community. But what went wrong is with the moment we started giving our responsibility away to the government. We need to take back our responsibilities. Our responsibility to raise our children. I mean, Grant, there is mummies and daddies that works 2-3 jobs to make sure that their
I'm
children
telling
goes
you.
to the best schools, to make sure that their children are educated. What is stopping us from doing that again? What is stopping us? I mean, I also have to work 2 or 3 jobs. I also need to make sure
Yeah.
that my daughter go to a good school next year for my
Yeah.
son as well. Sacrifices, we have to make it. We can't just wait, okay, ons wag vir nou vir die DA, vir die ANC. I understand they are corrupt. I understand they are using us. But the reason why they're using us is because we are not standing up for ourselves and we are not standing together, Grant. That is the problem.
Yeah.
That brings
We
us
must.
back to them taking advantage of us. That 350s, that
Yeah.
t-shirts that they give to us. We are much more worth than a t-shirt, than a 350. We
Sure.
are so slow.
But you see, Uncle Stan, that is what they are doing. They're making us dependent on those kind of things. They're
Yes.
making you dependent, and they're making you feel that they are giving you something. And for our people, we are so desperate. Ons mense is so, hulle is so gullible dat
Yeah.
hulle vat hy, maar hulle weet nie, hulle vat hom met,
Mm-mm.
daar's 'n bybedoeling met hom nie. So I'm
Yes.
saying to you, stop that nonsense. Stop having a beggars mentality. You're not beggar.
That's right.
Let
That's
me tell
right.
you something. If you can survive on the Cape Flats, jare, ek het 'n respek vir jou, man.
Yeah.
Jane Mellenberg can survive. I
Mm-mm.
heard there was a girl with what, 6 or whatever distincts to her,
I
5
understand you.
distinctions from
Yes. Yes.
Pontyville. Huh?
Mm-mm.
Now listen here, those are people. If that people, this is what you must tell yourself. Can something good come from my area? I can come. I can be the change. I can make just better decisions. You know, I always say this to you, to everybody else. Learn from other people's mistakes.
Mm-mm.
Then you don't have to make the same mistake. Just learn.
Exactly.
Learn from. If
Exactly.
you want to be a gangster, look at the biggest gangster. Where are they? They don't live long. They have no inheritance. They leave nothing back. There's
Yes.
no lineage for them. You don't even
That's right.
hear about them in 3 years. So
Mm-mm.
learn from that. You don't want that.
Mm-mm.
So I'm saying is that learn from and if you can survive in Tafelsig, in
Yeah.
Mitchell's Plain, in Menenberg,
Mm-mm.
if you can survive there, if you can,
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you, there's greatness inside of you. You don't have
That's
to
right.
feel like that. You don't have to stand in the one line all the time. My
Mm-mm.
broer was die bins, maak 'n jaarskool, do something.
There you go.
There's entrepreneurial skills. You can't
That's right.
tell me there is nothing you can do.
Mm-mm.
There is a
Mm-mm.
lot to do. Hou op met die what is the EPWP? Oh, the EPWP. The EPWP is a corrupt system, and we know that. Hulle gee vir
That's
wie
right.
hulle wil gee. So
That's
stop
right.
complaining about it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to put bread on the table.
Mm-mm.
Die 350s wat jy so vir hardloop. Ay. I believe there's a guy that got 7 months 350 and he started the ice cream parlor. That's such a lie. I don't know how you start the ice cream parlor with the 350 a month. But you know, do something. See the need of something. You know, I've got a lady in our community. She's going to start a bakery now.
Wow.
And she can provide bread for R5. And we're
Yeah.
struggling to get facility for ek sê maar weet jy wat, ons gaan kry vir ons 'n generator, ne? Dan
Yeah.
bak ons brood op die pavement vir die mense, man.
There we go.
As
There
ons
we
moet
go.
dit doen. But you know, at least kan ons 'n brood vir R5 gee vir die mense. So those are the kind of ek wil net ek wil hê die moet baie mooi ook kom vir ons mense.
Yeah.
Maak 'n staan, man, vir wat jy glo. Maak 'n
Mhm.
staan vas vir want kry mas in julle in. Nie vir
Ja.
verkeerde dinge nie, vir die regte dinge. Kry julle mense bymekaar in julle pad in en sê kyk jy, dis die probleem wat ons het. I went to a street once in Tava in East Street. The lady told me, the auntie told me, sy sê my meneer, hier's niks gangsters nie. Ek sê hoekom?
Ja.
Sy sê ons neek vir julle uit. Elke
Ja,
kind,
ja.
ons neek vir my uit.
Ja.
And that road, you can see that people is sorted out in that road. Why? Because they took responsibility. Los die ding van neighbors, die neighbors, die sê, kyk jy, ek weet ons het miskien differences, but kom
Ja.
ons gou by mekaar vir ons area, man. Ek sien jou kinders besig met die, of die kind, met die drug dealers en hy, kom ons sort die ding uit. And then you call and you say, listen, yeah, Ara, we need you to come and help us. As a road, we got a problem.
Ja.
The CCC, we need to help you. Whoever you feel like calling to help you, if the government is not going to help you. And we are there. Ons is daar. Ons gaat jou help.
Yes.
Ons gaat jou uit so.
Yes.
That is, but it must come from you.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, Rand, there is something that I have actually noticed. You know, that our people need to start calling out to those people that can help them. But also, you know, it's no use you're gonna say you want help, but it's only for one day. It must be a consistent thing. It must be an ongoing thing. It must be a relationship that we're gonna build. I mean, you can't start a neighborhood watch for a week, and after that week you go late. I think that is one of our biggest problem. Is the consistency. We need to be consistent in what we do. If you're going to start a business, be consistent. And I like what you say. Start on the pavement. You know, I got to that point, you know, where I sit and they can record me and they can say what I want, but this is what I said. I had enough of sending emails now to the city of Cape Town, whoever. We have in certain areas we don't have libraries, we don't have facilities. We must get to that point and say, look here, man. You're not going to keep education away from my people. We're going to put up structures here. We're going to put up containers here. And we're going to do that. And we're going to build libraries. You know, that is the next step. That is where I'm at. Because you send a letter to Dan Plato. Dan said, we're going to give you the property. Dan never gives you the property. There's no money. But you will see in the papers, you will see, okay, that one got 20 million rand, that one got 30 million rand. But for us, a piece of land with a container, it's unattainable. So this is the thing. We need to stand up. We need to make sure that our people know the value of education, and we need to know once we give our children education. That is the one thing that I've noticed. This system has been designed in apartheid years already for us to only go to primary school and to drop out.
Exactly.
But Grant,
Exactly.
my mother and your father saw past that. They encourage us, yeah, go and study.
Exactly.
So we need to
Yeah.
change our mindset as people and say, look here, we're gonna make sure our children go and study. We're gonna have an extra job or two, and we're gonna make sure our
Yes.
kids go to university and break that cycle because we are the
Exactly.
majority of people on the Cape Flats in Cape Town.
Yeah.
We are
Yes.
supposed. How many of the colored people have businesses? I mean, this lady that you spoke about now, struggling to open a business to make her own bread. How many colored people have businesses? How many colored people in the last months got money for small business for funding from government? You always see them here
Yeah.
taking a photo. I've asked
Yeah.
many of those people that take photos with, did they give you money? No, they don't have money now, but maybe next year, 2023, there might be a budget. But they
Yeah. A
took
budget
photos
for
of
us.
it. It was on the web pages, and we need to start being
Ach man.
keeping them accountable.
You know, Uncle Stan, I think that our people must just, forget, leave that hand me down
Mhm.
mentality.
Yeah.
You've got, if you can survive on the Cape Flats, then you got a brilliant brain. Think
Mm.
of ways. You can think of ways. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you are more than what you think you are. Seriously, you are. And I think also mense druk ons baie self, ons druk ons baie af. Ons druk ons
That's
baie
right.
af.
Mm.
Ons dink altyd ons is die skam, ons is nie goed genoeg nie because ons
Mm.
praat mos wat mengels, ons praat mengels, so ons
Mingles,
is nie
yeah.
goed genoeg nie. So yeah, so let me tell you something. Jy's goed genoeg. Listen here.
Exactly.
You must know who you are and where you come from.
Mm-mm.
Your skin is brown for a purpose. You are good
Mm.
enough. You
That's
are
right.
good enough. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you white, black, brown. In actual fact, in
Mm.
Ara, one of the things that we saying understand is that we are colorblind because it comes down to the person. But in a community speaking, our
Mm.
community, we must learn to stand together and stop wanting handouts from this
Yeah.
corrupt governments. Stop that
That's right.
nonsense.
That's
Stop
right.
that nonsense. I
Because
want
that's
you to
also
ask
how
me
they
the.
keep you. Mm.
I want you to ask me the magic question, man.
Okay. Grant told me I gave him the questions, but he said add this one on there, please. So I'm gonna add this one. This is the question, and we spoke about it myself, Fadil, and Neil spoke about Maya Amit as well 2 weeks ago. But I want to ask you. This is the magic question. The mayor, you have seen him now on the many areas of the Cape Flats. You have seen him picking up
Yes.
papers. You've seen him being involved. I want to know from your opinion, your views, what you have picked up. Many people said, yeah, but never be some fish schoon. Um,
Yeah.
give me just more. What are you thinking? You mentioned something very profound the other day, but you can speak about it.
Okay. I think let me start there. A never be some fish squid. And maybe that is the reason why the mayor is going out to clean all the areas to just get that notion sorted out that I will squid mark. I want to say this to you. I take our chief in command, our leader, our mayor. He's got a very serious position. And if I look at any business, because running the city of Cape Town should be run like a business. It's a business that
Mhm.
you're running. You're busy with people. That's your commodity. I don't want my chief in command to come and clean the streets or to come and clean the roads where there is people that is employed to do it, that is paid to do it, and that should be doing it and
Mm-mm.
making it his job. If there was nobody to do it, it's a different idea. I want to say this to Mr. Jordan Hill Lewis.
Mm-mm.
Why is your ward councillors not cleaning up their own areas? Why are you
Mm-mm.
doing it? I think, Mr. Mayor, you've got more important issues that you need to tackle. You need to go back and you need to sort out the safety and security issue that we've been nagging to you about for the last how many years, that our people are dying on the Cape Flats. I want to say this to the mayor also, and I say this: if the it's one thing to hear the need of the people, but it's another thing to know the need of the people. Stop listening to people's needs, because let me give you
Mm.
an example, Uncle. You can
Yeah.
tell me now, I need money, and I'm going to say, well, probably you need money.
Yeah.
But if I'm with you and I see,
Mhm.
ja, maar jy slaap tot 12 o'clock toe
Mm.
in die middag. Jy's
Yeah.
lui. Jy kyk
Mm.
TV heel dag. Dan gaan ek jou sê, jou problem is nie geld nie.
Yeah.
Because now I know you. Your
Yes.
problem is not money. Your problem is laziness. There's no
Mm-mm.
discipline in your life. Because if
Yes.
you get up earlier, you can do this, you can do that. So you see, what people say and what you come to know, it's two different things. And I want to say this: stop just listening to your ward councillors of what the people need and start to visit people. Mr. Mayor, if you want to really know what's happening, I want to challenge you. Go live, not just you. Take yourself, your wife, and your kids, and go live in either Menenberg, Heideveld, or Tafelsig for a month with no security. And then you will maybe know what the people need in our areas. And maybe then you can act accordingly. Because right now, cleaning up the places. Do you know? I'll tell you why your cleanup will never work. It will never work in our areas. As jy laat ons mense mossig as jy Uncle Stan. Ons mense is nie hulle is nie vullisie man. Hulle is nie mossig. Listen here, you've got one property, but you've got 5 households on that properties, Wendy houses all over. Because people don't have homes, so you've got backyard dwellers all over.
Yeah.
But that household only got 1 bin, because if they get another bin, they're going to be charged a second refuse account.
Yeah.
Third refuse bin. They can't afford it because the basic needs are so expensive already. Electricity, water, it's expensive already. So what do they do? 5 households with 1 bin. If the city cleans that bin on a Monday, Tuesday, that bin is full. So what are we going to do? We're going to go dump it. We're going to dump it. Why? Because we need to make place for all the other stuff that must come till next week, Monday. So dumping will always be a problem. How do you sort it out? It's easy. Don't sort the fruit of the problem out, sort the root out. Either get more bins in our area, big bins where people can dump, which may be also a problem, or just say, listen here, for every household that's indigenous, or that they have to give the indigenous grant for, that's worth under 500,000, apply for more bins if you've got more households staying there, and we'll just charge you for one refuge collection. Then you will save all the money that you spend on cleaning. You will write it off to that account and say that, we're giving out bins for free. We're cleaning the bins, but at least we don't have to clean the area. And that is a good solution. But they don't think like that. So now the mayor must leave his office to, I don't know, show people what? That he is for the people, to clean the people's mess. I don't know. It's not the people's mess. It's your government's mess that created this, because they're not looking after the needs of the people. These people are poor. They don't have anything, so they're not going to pay for a secondary bin. So I want to also say this to you, that I would rather have a place that is safe and not have our houses or our flats painted, or or our roads sorted out. Forget about that service delivery, because that is not the only thing that your government is supposed to do. We're sitting with a crisis. If you think coronavirus was a crisis, was an emergency, then this is a scale 1 crisis we're sitting with. It is safety and security on the Cape Flats. And the same person that's been in charge of the safety and security must be fired because he's not doing a good job. That person is not doing a good job at all. What has he ever done? He's not working with neighborhood watchers. He's not. I mean, I'm living in Tafelsig. Let me tell you, I'm speaking about, because it's that area that I work in. In that ward 92, you got 19,000 registered voters, probably sitting with 60,000, 70, 80,000 people living in that ward. But there's a neighborhood watch of 50. That's not even committed. Why? Because they got no help at all. There's no help coming in, and people are fed up. They don't get help at all. Deploy Metro Police, deploy law enforcement officers. They can be quickly on the scene when it suits them. But when there's gangsterism involved in that, then they're not on the scene. I'm telling you, gangsterism will never leave the Cape Flats, because it's profitable for these. I get upset for these politicians. It's profitable for our people to be and to live in gangsterism, and we as a people, we must sort this problem out. We're gonna have to sort this problem out, because this safety and security, they're gonna do nothing about it. JP is gonna do nothing about it. He has been doing nothing. Hy praat met 'n klomp goedes.
But that is also where we need to keep him accountable. Yes, we said Albert Fritz, we need to keep him accountable. He is one of the people. He needs to tell, I understand, we spoke about the social ills earlier on, but what are you doing? You are employing more staff members in the police, in the Metro Force, law enforcement. but what are you really doing? Because crime under your watch is also getting out of control. They're not killing people in Johannesburg or killing
Yeah.
people in Durban. They're killing people in
Man,
Menenberg, Park, Levendale, and it's under your watch, Mr. Smith.
yes.
That is the problem.
En het lyk vir my as hulle law enforcement gee, hulle gaan net Bonteheuwel toe. Hulle gaan net
Yes,
Bonteheuwel toe. Now
that's
please,
it.
Bonteheuwel, please, I've got no problem with you guys. I love
Yeah,
you guys very much. We got a lot of people there. But I mean, there's other areas as well.
yeah,
There's your Menenberg, there's your Heidevelds, there's your Delfts, there's your
mhm,
Delfts, there's your Belhaas, there's your Tafelberg, there's your Westbanks, there's your
yeah,
Kraaifontein, Scottsdeens. We don't hear about those areas. Go in and
yes,
deploy your people there. We need our
yeah,
people there. And they're not doing
yeah,
that. There's no operations that's being done. I mean, you just hear
exactly.
now and then of an
Yeah,
operation. I mean,
yeah,
come on, man. There's enough
yeah,
money to sort this out. Again, if you can waste 54 million
hmm,
on tents to hire,
yeah,
yes, like it. How much more can you not sort our safety and security out? So I want to say this to you that the mayor needs to look at this problem. The mayor needs to look at how to get
mhm,
unemployment, not worry with the dirt. Get your ward councillors. Some of your ward councillors are sitting doing absolutely nothing. I don't
exactly.
know. Your ward councillors are so worried about their four meetings per month. They must be in a ward meeting. They must be in a
Yeah,
council meeting. They
yeah,
must be in a Section 79
mm,
committee meeting, and they must be in this meeting and a sub-council meeting. And in
yeah,
that meetings, they are like superstars because they know the
exactly.
system. Man,
Mm,
mos man. I don't want you to be a
mm,
superstar there. I
yes,
rather
yeah,
sound stupid there, but work
mm,
for our people on the ground. Go work, go clean your own places. Why must your chief in commander come and clean the place? Dis mos 'n klap in jou gesig man
mm,
as 'n ward councillor. Jou chief in command moet jou plek skoonmaak van jy is te lui. Jy vat
yeah,
die city se geld en jy kan
yeah,
nie eens jou salary, jou sout wat jy weet is, kan jy nie eens
yeah.
uitgedien. No man, no man. No
Mr.
man.
Clarson, and you are
It's
so right. You are so right. I mean, let's talk about Mitchell's Plains ward councillors for like a minute. Because I see them. I see them. There's maybe one or two, and you can mention it, and you can actually call their names. There's one or two that are really working for the people. But that is I'm gonna lay means. They only like to say
sure.
they only go to two of their meetings if you message them. I want to say this, there's a ward councillor that I met and I messaged him twice, two occasions. I will never message him again. It's that guy in Ottery, William Acom. That is
Aikom.
the
Hey.
worst. That is the worst type of ward counselor that the person. You know why? We go into the community. We as Cape Flood Stories in our partners. We don't get funding from no one. When I get
Sure.
my salary month in, and I'm not. I want to talk about this, but people also need to know when we go out there, we go do our thing. Like we did this weekend and other times, as well. We give back to our community. I don't want. I've never asked a ward councillor for money. I've never asked the mayor for money or the previous mayor. All I want them is to support us. All I want them is to buy into what we're doing. To come out and say, okay, guys, but look at what you do. Look at what we are doing together as a community. But instead, you know what? 4 months ago, they all were on here. Yes, we're going to work together. Call us up. Now you're calling them up. Now their phones are down. And like I say,
Alias.
it's our own people. It's our own people that are actually getting, the worst of the service because we don't reach out to them. And what can you do? You can't do anything. All you can do for now is educate our people. Guys, take away that votes from the main party. Give it to a smaller party. That's all that we can do is to educate
Yeah.
them.
No, we need to educate our people. I look at the comments here. There's such a lot of comments here, and I think our
Yeah.
people are just tired. Our people are tired. We're tired of the lies. We're tired of the
Yeah.
white lies. We're tired of the things that they are saying they're going to do and they never do, and they're sitting with the budget. But you know what? I want to say this to you. When you vote for the right people to handle that budget. That,
Yeah.
that's what you need to vote for. Vote for
Exactly.
the right people to handle that budget because while the money's in their hands, we will never see a dime of it. Never ever
Mm-mm.
seen a dime. I always tell our ward councillors, and you want me to talk to you. I've spoken to the ward councillor in Ward 92, the new ward councillor. I'm going to call his name on here. It's fine.
Mm-mm.
What's his
Yes.
name? Adonis.
Mm-mm.
He's the new ward councillor there.
Yeah.
Now check this. This is maturity from my side.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight him. The people has voted him in as a ward councillor. So
Yeah.
what is my response? I respect him in his position. I want to work with him. He's got his constituents. I've got my constituents. My constituents is not going to listen to him because he's not the chief.
Mm-mm.
So what we should do, we should work together. So we
Mm.
should say, listen here, Councillor Grant, come, let's talk together. How can we work together?
Yeah.
You're a community man. You
Yeah.
work in the area. What is it that we can work together? You know what? That man has never once invited me. I sent him a message. I said to him, I said, you're doing a good job so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
When can we meet? I would like to talk to you, give you my plans, what I want to do. You know what he told me? You want to rather wait for the sub-council first to sit.
Mm.
Then he's going to meet with me. I will not meet with that man again. I'm not going to
Yeah.
waste my time to meet with
Yeah.
him. So I'm saying to you is that if you don't wear a blue T-shirt, they don't want to work with you. They don't want to
Yeah.
interest in you because their bosses is not going to approve of you. They're going to
Yeah.
have to give. They must give an account to their bosses. That's the issue. My question is this: when they took the budget away from giving the people whose houses burned down little starter packs, there was DA councillors sitting in council who knows people's homes burned down, but yet
Yeah.
you voted not for that budget to go forward. How can you live with yourself, with your inner man, knowing that you voted wrong? How
Yeah.
can you live like that? I mean, it's not right what you are doing. Forget about
Yes.
your political affiliation. When you're a ward councillor, never mind your political, the people have chosen you. You are the person there. You in charge. You're the chief in command there in that area. So you
Yeah.
got to take responsibility and work with those that's willing to work with you.
Exactly.
Work with your community. Your first meeting, sir and ma'am, must be with community leaders. Even if you are mature enough, you call the good, you call the PA, you call ARA, you call the CCC, and all of those
Yes.
people, community leaders.
Yes.
If you are mature, you call
That's
them in a
right.
meeting and you say, guys,
Yeah.
I have won, right? But we can all win if we work
Mm.
together because elections is finished. But how are we going
Yeah.
to sort our ward out? Because I'm also promises fulfilled that those
Yeah.
candidates do. But they're not interested because they want all the glory for themselves in what they are doing. And I'm telling you, this big blue ship is about to sink and it's about to sink hard. Because our people, onze mense is nie dommie, onze mense sien. Onze mense sien wat aangaan. En die favoritism wat gewys word, die nonsens wat aangaan op die Cape Flats,
Yeah.
in onze hordes, en die favoritism met die EPWP, en hulle gaat vir die uitsort en vir die uitsort. Die nonsens moet op 'n einde kom. If
Yeah.
you want to let everybody know what's happening in your ward, work with your community leaders. If I
That's
don't
right.
like a community leader, I will not ever take it personal to him and say I will not include
Exactly.
him. I will
Exactly.
think about the people. Even if I don't like Uncle Stan, I'll still
Yeah.
speak to Uncle Stan because the
Exactly.
people matter. And that's the
That's right.
maturity that must come. There's no wisdom that they apply
Yeah.
because they don't think about the people. The people must come first. If you're in politics, it's about the people that comes first. If you're
Yeah.
a ward councillor, the people come first. And you're not an island on your own. So
That's
stop this
exactly.
nonsense about being an island on your own. You know, I'm going to say this to every ward councillor, even in Mitchell's Plain,
Yeah.
because some of them in Mitchell's Plain, I'm going to tell you this, some of them in Mitchell's Plain, some of
Yeah.
them are really lazy.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
let me
that's
tell you
right.
something. When I say they're lazy, I don't talk about you being there for meetings and know what.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about forget about that because in a meeting, forget about that nonsense. What you should do. I'm reading your comments here. The vote the ward councillors voted to make the water electricity fixed charge. Yes, they made a lot of promises, so we know already. You just need to learn this. This is pre-election promises that will never come
Yes.
to pass.
Yes.
But I want to say this to us. You know, as a community, this is what I want you to do. Go and bombard your ward councillor's office every time
Yeah.
and keep a record of it.
That's right.
Well, you do that. Every problem you sit with, you go and bombard them. You go to their office. You make sure that you send them emails and you keep a note and a record of it. So then we can get his number, get him on WhatsApp. Hulle likes mos WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Sy
Yeah.
stuur hom WhatsApp en as hy nie respond nie, sy sit altyd goed. Ons gaan Kleinsmond toe, ons gaan die mense wys hoe werk hulle nie. Hulle moet daar wys vir ons. Hulle is mos die ward councillor, né? Hulle was mos ingebou.
Yes.
Nou ons gaan laat hulle nou werk. Hulle moet mos nou werk vir die mense. Né? So that is the thing. They must be there to help our people. One of our people went to the ward councillor to ask him about the funeral thing. He said, "Well, go to the what do you call it, the municipal in Lentegeur, and give them a blighty." On the blighty stands, what do you call it? It's not a pauper's funeral. It's what's the other funeral you get? A destitute funeral. That's all. He didn't explain anything. The person phoned me. The person said, "Councillor," they said, "I must take this. What does this mean, destitute?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nou kyk jy, ek weet ook nie wat hy gemeen het nie. Maar weet jy wat?
Yes. Yeah.
Dit mos Google. Toe Google ek gou.
Exactly.
Toe sê
Exactly.
ek vir die persoon binne 'n minuut, okay, 'n pauper as aan niemand uitgekom het nie, dan gaan die sit vir hulle bury. Maar
Ja,
'n destitute is hulle family, né? Maar hulle het nie geld nie. Die sit die gaan
Ja.
ook vir jou help. Sy moet net aan toe gaan. Toe sê die persoon, hy nou verstaan ek. Hulle gee
Yes.
dit 'n
Yes.
blaadjie gaan na. So that kind of thing, man, and we need to keep them responsible. So I wanna every person that's here, go to your, and if don't get cross and say, well, hulle wil nie help nie. Sy gaan aanhou en aanhou. Sy gaan
Yes.
maak 'n las van yourself.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something, that person there is a public office bearer, and they must see you and must listen to you. And if they don't, you can call us and we'll make a big noise about it, because they are public office bearers. They must listen to you.
I mean, and I think that is the thing, is that we need to keep them accountable. We need to go to the offices and we need to make a note of it. But that is what I just mentioned to you earlier on. These ward councillors think that, they don't give our people training. That's why I say they need to tell our people what their job is, and they need to also give our people training, like you said now. What type of funeral is this? When does this happen? It's like they expect our people to know everything, and unfortunately, we have some of our parents can't even read. Some of our parents can't even write. So now you are talking to grown-ups, but remember, these people, some of them don't have education, and then the other thing is this: they become rude with our people. They become extremely rude. I've
And
seen
that's
that.
bad.
And when
That's
they,
bad.
one of the things that I hate is when these ward councillors get rude with elderly folks. Because remember,
Oh,
ouer mense gaan mos nou nie
man.
opstaan nie. Hulle is nou oud,
Man, no, man.
You need to keep these guys
No, man.
accountable. We need to tell them, yay, but kijk, and that's why I want to encourage people. It's no use we're only going to talk on here. You are living in Menenberg and Nova Park that can read it, understand what's going on. Go out there. Get involved with build relationships. As jy auntie miskien 'n probleem het met 'n water, sê vir haar, dis die procedure, dis wat jy moet doen. As jy auntie miskien 'n probleem het met iets in die huis, en kry vir haar help. I mean, we need to be there. That is the thing, is that the system that has been developed so was to keep us divided. And we have now fallen into that thing where we are divided now for many years. Because of that, things are not really happening for us. But we need to get back as a community, as people, and start working together and standing up for each other. And I think that is the main thing that we should preach in the mosque. We should preach in the church. And we should preach as families when we get together at Bryce, and we should build relationships again, so that we can keep these people accountable.
Uncle, I want to say this to every person on this group. As jy by parties kom en daai, mense wil altyd sê hulle wil nie politics praat nie, but weet jy wat? This is the plague on the Cape Flats at the moment. And if something plagues you, then we need to talk about it, have discussions about it. We must have a maturity. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's the outcome of this whole thing. What are we doing? What is the outcome of this whole thing? I'm gonna say this to everybody on this program. Let us move away from wanting stuff from this government, and let us start. Max, I see you on this program. Max, I've met you. Very nice guy, lovely guy. I know also you were with Max there. Very community orientated person.
Very much.
Very nice guy. I had a meeting with Max already. Very nice guy, and his heart is really for his people. But I want to say this to you. He's asking about the walking bus members. Max, in your area where you are, you're a community leader. In actual fact, Max, let me tell you something. You're actually more of a ward councillor than anything else.
Yes.
Let me be truthful with you. Just because you don't have the title, you're actually more of a ward councillor. Max, start your own walking bus members. There is people that will not do it for money, that will do it for, they want to do it. Start your own thing there. And that is how we get our revenge back. That is how we get our honor back. Is that we say we don't need you to do it because you didn't want to do it. Let's do it ourselves. You can do it. You can do it.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure you can do it.
And he was so right. While I worked with Max on Saturday, I walked with him through Parkwood. Everybody knew Max.
No, Max is the councillor there.
Yes, and I'm
Max
like, okay, Max, but now, why aren't you? First of all, the question is, and he's going to be upset with me, but I asked him, why didn't your party make you a ward councillor? Because I think he has. We must be, Donovan, I like to put in it, but Max also have the skills.
Listen here, Max is the guy there. I met with Max. I'm going to tell you this. As a ward councillor, first and foremost, you must have interpersonal skills with people.
Yeah.
Where you can be, as the word councillor is advisor.
Yes.
Direction.
Exactly.
So, some people will come there with not a municipal issue. a
Yeah.
rape issue. So
Yes.
before
Yes.
you send them to different departments,
Hmm.
you should be equipped. Have you
That's right.
studied to give counseling to people? Because
That's
that
right.
10 minutes that you sit with them can change their
Mhm.
life forever. But you're
That's
not
right.
even equipped to do that because they will at the
That's right.
meetings at the elder and say, well, weet jy, wat wil jy doen elder?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
must counsel your people, give direction
Yeah.
to them if they come to
Yeah.
you. And you don't do that. You just don't do that. Just, I mean, then in
Yeah.
Nova Park the other day, people were protesting because the ward councillor's under years. They don't know where he is.
Yeah.
He's always
Yes.
forever not there. And so,
Yes.
you know, it's a. I want to say this to you again. Keep your councillors responsible. And
Mm-mm.
I'm saying this here, Uncle Stan. I'm not going to
Mm-mm.
stand for ward councillor for the next term.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand for ward councillor. I want to work
Mm-mm.
behind the scenes. That is
Yeah.
my thing. I want to work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Others, we're training up other people now. We got beautiful people. That is,
Mm-mm.
their hearts is for this. And
Mm-mm.
when you are mature, I will
Yeah.
use that word again and again, mature, because we
Yeah.
need to get to maturity. Then you understand that this vision is bigger than all of us. To
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
Cape Town the right government, it's all of our responsibility. And it's
Yeah.
not about the DA is the best vehicle in this. We need to choose capable leaders that's got a heart for our people, that comes from the soil, and that will
Yeah.
serve our people in the best interest. That is the leadership that we should be going with. Nothing else. And leaders that's got knowledge. They know how to do certain
Exactly.
things.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
There's a
there's
lady.
layers, man.
But there's a lady that asked now. You see, just asked Kim Stevens. Just asked, one of the questions. What is the criteria for somebody to become a ward councillor? I think it's easy to become a ward councillor if you have a following.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
people put anybody there. I mean, if you look at, there was hairdressers that waited for to become ward councillors. There was guys that they were just popular singers and whatever. They actually went for ward councillors. But it can be dangerous. Like you say, we need trained people. I won't become a ward councillor. I don't see myself as
Yeah.
a ward councillor. But because some people see this as now as a job opportunity, we can now get into the market.
But
There's
that's the problem, Uncle.
That's
That's the
dangerous.
problem. You
Yes,
see, you see, let me say this to you. If you as a ward councillor is doing this because of a job, you shouldn't be a ward councillor in the first
that's
place.
right.
In actual fact, a ward councillor is not a permanent position. Do you
Yeah.
know that?
Hmm?
A ward councillor is a part-time position. Only when you take office, either
Yeah.
a chairman of a Section 79 committee or you are a member of the MEC, then
Mm-mm.
that becomes a permanent position when you have an
Mm-mm.
office there.
Yeah.
But a ward councillor and a PR councillor, it is
Mm-mm.
part-time positions.
Yes.
So you should, in actual fact, have a job already. If you
Mm.
do not have a job and you become a ward councillor for a job, you're the wrong person because you're going to be regulated by that salary. I'm going to tell you
Mm-mm.
something. I've got a job. Ek werk
Yeah.
met my hande. My hande staan
Yeah.
nie stil nie.
That's
So
it.
which means niemand gaan vir my kan kopie. There's no price tag on me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you see that is the issue. I cannot be bored because ek werk
Yeah.
vir my ding.
There we go.
That's the thing. Now
Yeah.
you go look at this ward councillors. No, they got no side hustle. They got nothing because
No.
that's hulle
No.
main income. And let me tell
There
you
we
something.
go.
They're gonna protect that so much because hulle wil
That's
die
right.
5 year. Because no suddenly, this guy was earning 5,000 rand. Maar hy weet nie wat gedoen nie. Suddenly
Yeah.
he's earning now what they're getting. The ward councillors is being paid, I think, 45,000 a month.
A package though, they're getting a package. I think it's worth 60,000 in a month.
No, it's
No.
less than that. It's
No?
less than that. It's about
With the
47,
petrol.
I think. Yeah,
Okay.
with the petrol and with that, it's about
Okay.
47.
Okay.
You see, I don't
Okay.
even know about it because it really
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the issue is this: if the guy is doing that, that's your number one problem. Your
Yeah.
salary should be
Yeah.
a remuneration. It should be a advantage that you get
That's right.
for the work that you are putting in.
That's
That's
right.
it. It shouldn't be
Mm.
your first mainline income because then you're
Yeah.
doing it for money and not
That's
for
right.
the people's sake. So that is the issue that we're sitting with. So people ask, how do I become a ward councillor? First and foremost, you must be a people's person. You must be
Yes.
recognized by the people. You
Mhm.
must have done some community work in the area already
That's
where
right.
people could have seen. You must be driven and have a heart for people all the time.
That's
Doesn't
right.
mean you must be 24/7 there for the people. You
Mhm.
also got a
Yeah.
life. But
That's right.
you need to have knowledge on how things work and how things
Yeah.
operate so that you can advise people in it.
Mhm.
And I would say also give yourself a course in the if you're sitting in an area like again your Menenbergs and that,
Yeah.
then equip yourself gangsterism, equip yourself with rape cases, gender-based violence, what to do
Yeah.
and how to counsel people in those things. That will make you. And then of course, now this is it. So now when you belong to a political party, they put their favorites there, not their equipped. And you know what we've done in Ara? All of our ward councillors that were standing, we actually put them through a course to make them understand, if you're going to represent us, this is what you should be doing. So anybody that's on this platform, if you want to become a ward councillor, you don't have to have a matric to be a ward councillor. There's no qualification that you have to have. It doesn't matter. You can become a ward councillor. The people must just vote for you. That's it.
There we go. Yeah, but like I say, Grant, that's also dangerous. You need to be qualified. I mean, you can't.
No, but that's what I'm saying, Uncle
Yeah,
Stan. That is what the criteria is currently.
yeah. What is this now?
Sorry, let me just rephrase that.
Yes.
Currently, you don't have to have a matric. You don't have to have this. You can just become a ward councillor. You can, in actual fact, by the ruling parties, you can just belong a member of the party. And you know what? We want to honor you because you've been so faithful. So let's give you a PR councillor position to come in, and then we move you up to a ward councillor, and then you move up in the ranks. But you have no personal skills, no interpersonal skills. You've never done anything. You know, I can tell you this. Our people, I'm skilled. I'm sitting with a degree. I'm sitting with a bachelor's. I've studied. I've skilled myself up. I'm in business. I'm pastoring even 2 churches. I'm doing so much in my life. You know, and everything is tied up to people. Everything is always tied up to people. So, you know, I want to say this to you that, you know, your ward councillors currently, some of them is not qualified to be in that position that they are.
That's right.
I would even say more than 50% of them is not qualified to be. Man, hulle kan nie eens reg spel op Facebookie.
Yeah.
Die predictive text kan hulle nie eens help nie.
Yeah.
You know? So unfortunately, I understand that is the criteria that they have, that their parties have set, and which is absolutely a low ball, because that's what they think about our people. We don't have to give them educated councillors.
Yeah. And I like what Winston is saying here. Ward councillors should know the heartbeat of the community.
Exactly.
I think that's the main thing. What is
beautiful?
You know, if you don't know the heartbeat of the people, if you don't know the people, you know, the problem is this, Grant.
And Uncle, let me just say this. They must also be the person that can unite that community.
That's the main thing. That is what I don't
see. They must be able. Yes,
but
they must be the person when they call a meeting, they must be able to unite that people.
Exactly.
That is very important of a ward councillor.
But this is the thing that I picked up with many ward councillors. They divide communities.
No.
I've seen this.
They all do it. It's not some. All of them do it. They got their favorites.
They divide communities.
Their favorites get the EPWP. Their favorites get all the information. When the whole census thing came up, when the census thing came up and the jobs was there, their people knew about it. Other people. So that's the kind of thing that happens there. So, you know, favoritism and that divides a community. Let me tell you something. As jy mense het wat honger ly, they kan nie vis en vleis maak nie, man. I mean, have a heart. Everybody needs their job. So give it to everybody, not just to your favorites. Not just to your favorites. Hey, man, I'm telling you, you know, I think some of our ward councillors, ek wil dit nie sê nie, but no, man. You are in your main if you operate like that, man.
That's right.
And you will be removed. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be removed. I want to tell you something. You're going to get to a place where I'm telling you, and you know who's going to remove you is your own community. Because the community is going to come and they're going to make roxons there in front of that place because of your non-service delivery. I'm not talking about the municipality. You as a person's non-service delivery. So every person that's here, that's listening to this, if your ward councillor don't perform, my brew, they got toy for say office, create evidence. And you go to, you write letters to the speaker, you write letters to the mayor. I'll give you all the information that you want. Because we are not going to tolerate lazy ward councillors. That's going to deal with our people in a very unworthy manner. Our seniors are precious. Our women are precious. Our children are precious. Our men has been so hurt already. You deal with people, you must have a sense of responsibility. Those, you know, if you are in customer care, they say the customer pays your salary. You treat them like gold. Now, these people have worked for you. You treat them like platinum, my friend. Doesn't matter who they are. You are not above them. They have chosen you. So you listen to them and help them to the best of your ability. That should be your mandate as a ward councillor.
And you are right. You are so right. The thing is, Grant, we've come to the end. I still want to talk on. Let's give it another 5 more minutes. This is something that I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
That I think that our people need to also talk about. You know, standing up. Let's just focus quickly on that. Standing up and keeping people accountable. Our people need to know they can set up emails and they can send emails to the mayor. They can send mail. There is other people as well, and I think we should actually make that available. Should actually make it
Yes.
available to our people so that we keep these people accountable. It's no
Yes.
use that we're going to say, but Mr. Dungas didn't do this and what so and so and so. Have you reached out
Yes.
to him? Have you spoken
Yes.
to him? Have you ignored it twice or thrice? Yes, they will take it further. And I
Correct.
mean, that's where we actually want to get to.
Very important. Now, what you do is this: you Google your ward councillor's name and you put the name City of Cape Town next to it. On the City of Cape Town, the Google will open up and it will give you your ward councillor, the name. It will give, there will be a nice photo of him. You will
Yeah,
know what Section 79 committees he's part.
yeah,
And most importantly, his email will be there and his telephone
yeah,
number. You
yeah. Damn it. I think their Grant got load shedding now. Grant? I think Grant got load shedding there now, yes. Um, yeah, Grant got load shedding. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize about this. It was a very good, a very good one now, and unfortunately, krijg het afgegaan. Um, what I will do is I will chat with Kyk hoe lag Jesse. I will chat with Grant. I'll get that information. Maybe you can post it on here as well. So unfortunately, ESCOM disappointed us tonight. But guys, I want to leave it with you. We had a brilliant topic. It was a brilliant conversation, and this is what I want to say. We need to stand up. We need to rise. We need to keep these people accountable. We had elections 3 months ago. Wait, dear Grant comes again. Perfect.
Understand? Sorry, I don't know. I got load shedding here. I don't know what happened. Maybe
All right, all
maybe
right.
I forgot to buy electricity. I don't know. But listen, yeah, I just logged onto my phone. So I want to
Yeah,
say this to you. So what you do is you go actually online and you get the details. Then you start sending them emails. Start sending them WhatsApp messages if you can, messages, but keep a record of those things. If the people have not responded after a week, 2 weeks maximum, then you start sending it to the speaker because the speaker is responsible then, and you copy the mayor in. Now, understand, I think that information, the speaker and the mayor, if you do not have it, I'll send it to you so that you can have that information.
yeah, yeah,
And they must respond to you. Remember this,
yeah,
these people are not above you.
yeah,
You voted for them, so they are public office bearers, and they must come and give an answer to your
yeah,
needs and what you are facing. So very important. That information is available for you.
yeah, yeah. And people need to go out there. They need to keep these guys accountable, give them dates as a community. We want to see you, we want to talk to you. And that is the
Exactly.
only way how we're going to fight this is when we come, should I say, the ball by the horns gryp.
Yeah, and I think the ward councillors must also create a WhatsApp group and put everybody on that WhatsApp group. And then, I mean,
There we go.
it doesn't have to be a talk group. It can just be for information's sake. So when something happens, send it out to your people. Send it
Yeah,
out to your people. Have a notice board by your office, and so people can continuously come and see what is happening there and get the information out. So it's just a little bit of thinking. Each ward to its own. Some ward councillors just people are not going to come to your office. Then start that WhatsApp group. Invite people
yeah,
from different political parties. It doesn't matter who it is, but you can get the information out there. That's
yeah,
important for people to know.
yeah, yeah. Grant, thank you so much. I think what I'll do is in the next week or two, I'll get the mayor on. But all the requests, you guys can send all the requests, and we can give it through to him as well. Have him on. This is the
Yeah.
complaint we have because we need to
Yeah.
keep them accountable. There's no use. Daar gaan nou krijg nou aan. But
Yeah,
Grant,
I don't know. Let's cook now, Acoste. I don't know. I want to apologize. My box is in the air, so I can't see when it's off. When the lights go off.
not a problem,
But
sir.
apologies for that.
Grant, any last thing you just want to leave with the people? We have gone over the time, but it was something that our people needed to hear. Anything you want to leave with the people?
Man, I'll say this, Stan, that you know what? We've got beautiful people in Cape Town. We've
Yeah.
got fighters in Cape Town.
Yeah,
And it's for too long that we've left our city up to these politicians to do
Yeah.
something for us. Let us take ownership of our own place, of our own street, of our own home. It
Yeah.
starts in your home. Let us take ownership in our own street. Let us speak. Let the conversation start. Let the conversation start in the road. Listen here. How can we make the road better? How can we make the community better? Let it start to work. And let us stop placing all these demands on this governments that has done nothing for us. And
That's right.
is taken place. Remember these things. Take these things to heart. What the rejections, the calls you've made, the struggles you have, and then you make it. Don't make a decision because it's fashionable to vote for them. No, it's got
Yeah,
nothing to do with that. It
exactly.
must be a decision that you're making because you genuinely believe in it. So that is my last word. You are beautiful people. You are clever people. You are great people in Cape Town. I love, understand, I've got no desire to travel anywhere. I have no desire for Joburg, Durban,
Yeah,
overseas, nothing. I love our people. I
that's
am
right.
crazy about our people. Our
Yeah,
people are really great people. So I
yeah,
want to say this to you. You are fighters, and it's time to take the fight to the next level now, that we do what we have to do to get. Listen here, if we want to see what we never saw before, we got to start to do what we've never done before, and we got to take
exactly.
the bull by the horns and do it ourselves. If our government is not going to do it, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, Uncle Stan. Thank you
Grant,
very much.
thank you so much. Like I said to the people, it's going to be a good one. Whenever I have you on, it's a good one. We will touch base soon again. There's no
Yeah,
part van die family. I just want to put it
thank
out
you.
there, like me and Byron always used to say, ons is nie deel van ARA of van watter party nie, but we support men
Exactly.
and women. We support men and
Yes,
women that are there for the
that's right.
people. That is
That's
what
right.
we are about. So we want to
That's
support you.
right.
We want to say you guys are doing a good job. Whenever I'm in Pelican Park, I just want to add this and bring it under your attention. Whenever I'm in Pelican Park, daai mense weet kon new horizons se mense, daai mense van
Ja,
julle
hulle
weet.
weet jy.
Even if you
Ja,
go
hulle weet jy.
to Kefta, to retreat, they're busy working there. So I can
Ja,
see that. And I can see it's taking momentum. So the other
ja,
parties should wake up. They should wake up slowly.
ja.
Grant,
No, thank you,
thank you so
understand.
much.
I
Much
think
appreciated.
I think we got great people. I've got
Yeah.
people that's got a restorative mindset. And I
Mm,
think, like I said, we're building foundation, and we are much more than this talk, because we are more humanitarian in any case than political. And
yeah.
that's what I said to you guys last time. And I think what we're going to do is that we need to actually, on Cape Flat Stories, we actually need to have, and I understand, maybe I want to challenge you with this, because you
Mhm.
are the pioneer in this, is to get all of our leaders together in our areas, in our Cape Flat areas. Let's get a
Mhm.
big meeting together and let's
Okay.
talk about this. Let's get a big meeting together. Let's get
Yeah.
a hall, let's get a field, and let's say, listen here, man, we need to get this right now because we cannot depend on the ruling party anymore. And I think
Exactly.
that is something that we can maybe do in 2022, something big, Uncle Stan.
We can do it. To be honest with you, Grant, I am busy. I'm starting
Okay,
small, like next month.
wonderful.
I will invite you. We're bringing the
Yes,
business,
invite me.
we're bringing the people to the Cape Flats, the business people. We need money here.
Wonderful.
We need them to invest money, and also we need to talk about the political stuff. So
Yes,
I'll keep you in mind. It's definitely
keep in
something
mind,
we're
yeah.
about, and we're gonna do it,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, invite me. I will definitely be there. Definitely. I love things like that. I love it.
Okay, Grant, thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Uncle
but
Stan, and
I'll stay
thank
in
you to the
contact with you. Right?
listeners.
Pleasure. Eh? Thanks, Grant.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Grant Clarson from ARA. You guys can follow them on Facebook. You will see in the chats there's a lot of this Ward 67. Their pages, the link is on here it as well. We need to have alternatives. We need to talk about what the party can us for vote. We can't do the same thing over and over and expect different results. Like I said previously, we need to see a different result. I promise you, when you go into the Cape Flats, it is arraga buite. It is lelike buite. Our people are being, marginalized. Our people are struggling with certain things. Ward councillors are not really doing their jobs. And I have to say this. I have to stress this. They're not doing their jobs. They're not doing what they promised they would do. November month when in November month when they made the promises, we're going to look after you, we're going to take care of you. Now all of a sudden in February month they are quiet. They have, they read your messages, they don't respond, and we need to teach them a lesson. You're not going to take us for a fool every time. You're not going to tell us every time vote for us and we're going to bring change, but yet we are being marginalized. Our people are being killed. They're saying this is the best run city. They need to. I want to speak to Mr. Smith soon. We need to ask him. But JP, Mr. Smith, Why aren't safety and security up to scratch? It's things like that that we need to talk about. I'm getting upset because when I walked in Parkwood on Saturday, and I saw the state of our people. I saw how depressed our people were. I walked in Menenberg the other day. I was in the Nova Park. I went to all those areas and I look at our people. It's the same thing. They're sitting in front. They are depressed. Saturday, ja, when I asked youngsters what qualifications sê sy, uncle, ek het 'n standaard 5 certificate, uncle. Uncle, ek het 'n standaard 4 certificate. Ek is 19, 20 jaar oud, uncle. Uncle, ek het nie qualification nie, uncle. Ek het nie ID nie, uncle. It's things like that I also keep the ward councillors accountable for. Ward councillors also need to start having, a unit in control there where when gangsters fight, they need to go out and say, but you're not going to fight today. Today the children are going to school. The children are going to go and study. They need to be kept accountable. So guys, I spoke a lot. Ek vereer my, but the thing is this, we need to keep these people accountable. We need to go out there. Ellison, thank you so much for the information, guys. Ellison posted a lot of information that you guys need to go look at, where to find the ward councillors and the sub-council things and so on, to click on the link. But we need to keep them accountable. We need to stand up and say, yay, we had enough. Guys, it was nice chatting with you. Thank you so much, everybody. It was a good chat. Ons maak weer maandag aan so. En ons gaan geraas maak. Today we started with the thing. This is the Monday where we say we're keeping them accountable. Not only on Facebook, but in real life as well. If you have a problem with your ward councillor, I want you also to let you know, I will get the mayor on. I want you to keep your complaints ready. It will be one of these Mondays. I can't tell you when. It depends when he's available. Your complaints, you keep it ready in the name and the surname. We are also going to do a next thing. I'm looking at this next week. I need to speak to a gentleman. There's a lot of people that left political parties. That has been robbed. That has been, wat gesteel van gewees het. And we need to know about these things because political parties just came also to the Cape Flats, right? They came here and they got votes and now they ran away with the votes. They are in parliament, but they're not doing anything. So we're going to speak about those. Julle moet julle klaarmaak. It is politics uncensored. Hoekom is die mense weg van jou party af? Hoekom het jy die mense geld gesteel? Why did you use the people? So next week and Monday, I want you to stay tuned. We're going to address this matter and we're going to start mentioning names. They must know that we're going to mention names and we're going to tell people, yeah, hy's 'n sleg jong, hy's 'n sleg vrou, We're going to come to that point because our people are dying, But guys, I must go now. Have an awesome evening and take care.